Hey everybody, it's Easton here at the ABYC, and today we'll be going over the top 10 reasons your RV electrical system is failing. Reason number one, your batteries are quietly dying. Now, this could be several things. It could be from overcharging, meaning you have your settings set too high, undercharging, meaning your settings are set too low, leaving it discharged for too long. Those can kill lead acid, lithium batteries. Also understanding what type of battery you have and what it's comfortable with. Another thing could be poor maintenance. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that you need to maintain those batteries at a specific voltage. Excessive heat. If you have your batteries in a compartment that has excessive heat, that could be bad for the lifespan of your battery. Or just age. You know, batteries deteriorate over time. If your batteries are 10, 11, 12 years old, they're not gonna be as if they just come out of the box. So what it all boils down to is that you need to understand your system, what particular batteries you have, the safe voltage that they need to be charged at, the safe temperatures they need to be kept at, and then overall maintenance of those particular batteries. Reason number two is loose connections and heat on your wires. Now, a lot of people don't realize it until it's too late that your wires are heating up because of bad crimps. You could have washers under the lugs. You'd be surprised how many times I've seen systems come from the factory with loose connections, no ventilation, and essentially that's a death warrant for your system. Eventually it will fail. Reason number three, you could be just overloading your system. Now, a lot of people don't realize they have to load manage with the majority of inverters that they choose. I mean, if you're choosing a inverter that usually comes from the factory, it's usually not going to be able to run an air conditioner, a coffee maker, a hair dryer, microwave. You can't turn all those things on at the same time. Your breaker pops, your voltage drops, and your electrical system will suffer because of that. And usually if your breaker pops, it's not, the simple fix is not to just go and turn that breaker on. That system is trying to warn you, hey, something is wrong. That is why the breaker pops. So simply going over and turning the breaker back on, that's not the fix. The fix is somewhere else. The breaker is just a warning. Reason number four, cheap extension cords. I cannot stress enough how often I see people plug into a cheap extension cord with a, $10,000 system, and they go and buy a $20 cord. It is just not gonna be enough copper in that cord. Don't buy cheap extension cords for RV use. They're usually just for household appliances like a fan or something small like that. They're not built to handle RV loads. A cheap extension cord plugged into your RV will not be the right gauge of wire. It'll hold heat and you may lose connection. It may get that hot that you'll lose connection. If you're buying an extension cord, you wanna make sure you get the proper size gauge of wire on that extension cord because the copper matters. I mean, the more copper you have in that wire, the easier it is for that electricity to travel through it. The less copper, the harder it is for that electricity to travel through it, creating more heat. I know, a lot of you might say this is a crazy reason or dumb, but water is not your friend when it comes to electrical systems. You don't want your electrical system in anywhere that is a moist area. You don't want it to have any exposure to any of the weather elements or anything like that, because the more moisture, the more water, the more your electrical connections corrode. And especially if you're not using tin plated or the correct copper, you'll start to see it turn green, and that's just a bad sign that you have a moisture issue. It's also very dangerous. Reason number six, and this is another one that kind of goes without saying, a lot of people think about, but rodents. You don't want pesky rodents or anything like that to be able to get into your electrical system. They like to chew on wires. Everything will be working one day and you go back out to your system, you turn it on, it's not working, you don't know the reason why. You wanna check and see where you locate your RV when you're not using it. I mean, if it's a prime area for rodents, you want to make sure that you set traps and you set repellent out, because 9 times out of 10, that rodent's going to crawl somewhere that is not easy for you to get to, and it's going to cause a big issue. Reason number 7, bad DIY electrical work. Not all DIY electrical work is bad. Shortcuts are usually what hurts the majority of DIY systems that I see. Using tape to secure electrical connections, loose bolts, loose wire nuts, missing fuses, missing breakers, bad crimps. I mean, these are all things that the DIYer could do and not fully think about, and it could cause your system havoc. Reason number 8, misunderstanding inverters. So a lot of people think, hey, I have an inverter, I can run whatever I want to run. Maybe not the case. You have to look at what size inverter you have, make sure that inverter can support that load, and then you have to make sure that you have the correct battery bank size to support that load for as long as you want to support that load. A lot of people, they just think, hey, I have a 3,000 watt inverter, I should be able to run a 3,000 watt load, and that's the end of their equation without seeing, hey, maybe I need to upgrade my battery bank, maybe I need more solar to add to my batteries. They just don't understand where they're getting that power from. And that's where the Inverter Service Center comes in to help you for all your needs, if you need that. Reason number 9, nobody monitors their system. Would you drive a truck if you didn't have a oil pressure gauge, fuel gauge, temperature gauge? You could, but you would not be very confident in that truck. Majority of people don't know their state of charge, they don't know their current draw, they don't know, how much battery they have, they don't know how much inverter they have. These systems are meant to be monitored. I mean, they will let you know if they're about to fail long before they fail. And when it comes to monitoring your system, you have options. You don't have to have this expensive battery monitor that tells you everything you need to know. You could, at bare minimum, just have a shunt that connects to your phone Bluetooth, and it lets you know what percentage your battery is at. That level of monitoring, it can go a long way for your electrical system in your RV. And if you want to know the difference between battery monitors, check this video out I have for you. Reason number 10, I kind of want to go over some myth versus reality type things. So like myth, my inverter just stopped working. The reality of that situation is you could have had poor ventilation, and that's why your inverter just stopped working. And when you take it to somebody, they don't know what's wrong with it because it's working right then. Another one, oh, my batteries are just wore out. It could come from undercharging or overcharging your system too many times. That will deteriorate the lifespan of your battery. Another myth, campground power is always safe. It's not. Sometimes campground power is not safe, and your RV is working perfectly. Sometimes it is the campground power. A really cheap way to check campground power, you can buy a really cheap meter, and just before you ever plug up, just meter the campground's power to see if you have that 240 available or that 120 available, and that it's at the proper voltage. You could also get you a Watchdog surge protector. You plug it up to the campground pedestal, you plug your RV into that Watchdog, and it'll protect you from surges, and it'll let you know if that power is good or bad. And we actually sell those on our website. If you want it, you can click the link below. So if you like this video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, let us know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. Until next time, thanks for watching, everybody.